What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another end of season video. And today we're going to do the Premier League team of the season. A lot of people putting these videos out, and I thought we'd get involved. Let's have some conversation, some debate, and let's see how many Arsenal players can get in this squad. Big up to everyone locked in. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and get in the comments. Let me know what your Premier League team of the season would be. Or if you don't want to write the whole team, just let me know what players you disagree with what I've selected. I'll try and give you a reason as to why I've chosen each player that I've chosen. And we'll also do some special mentions for the players who maybe were very close and maybe could have got in the squad. So let's get going. We'll use this website and go through the whole team on here. We'll start with the goalkeeper. I think this is pretty simple. It's down to two. They shared the Golden Glove this season. One is Matt Sells, the Belgian international for Nottingham Forest this season. The other is David Raya, the Spanish international. 13 clean sheets for both of them. And I'm going to be honest, I'm going to go with Matt Sells. I'm going to put my Arsenal bias aside. When you look at Nottingham Forest, a year ago they were in a relegation battle. This year they've made the FA Cup semi-final and qualified for Europe, and I think Sells has been a huge part of that. He's also made more saves than David Raya, although David Raya has conceded less goals overall. But I'm going to go for Matt Sells. He's been a brick wall for Forest this year, and I think he deserves to get in. Listen, if you pick David Raya, no problem. He's an Arsenal player. But I'm going to go for Matt Sells in goal. We'll just go in the order that they've actually got it listed on here. So in terms of centre-backs, I'm going to go with Virgil van Dijk. I think that is actually the easiest selection probably in the whole squad. I think we're now at a point where you're actually talking about one of the best centre-backs we've ever seen. I think he's that good. I don't think there's a defender in the world better than him, and I don't think there's a defender that makes defending look as easy as him. I would have loved to have seen Van Dijk play in an older generation with the likes of R9 and Henry and strikers like that, to have seen how he coped. But in this generation, the dominant force and an easy selection. So Virgil van Dijk. Next to him, I'm going to go with Milenkovic from Forest again. He was named the Nottingham Forest Player of the Season. Again, he's part of that defence that has been fantastic this year and got them in Europe. Murillo is the one that's more hyped. He's younger, he plays for Brazil, big clubs looking at him. But I think Milenkovic's leadership has really propelled them to the next level this season, and a bargain. A player that I used to sign a lot on Football Manager, by the way, who always did really well. But yeah, Milenkovic next to Virgil van Dijk, people. At right back, and by the way, sorry, just at centre back, I think Gabriel would have been in this centre back pairing next to Van Dijk if it wasn't for the injury that he got in March. At right back, I think there's three players. Munoz at Crystal Palace, who's done really well, FA Cup winners. Ola Aina at Forest, who's had a really good season. But I'm going to go for Jurriën Timber of Arsenal. ACL injury last season. For me, defensively, without a shadow of a doubt, he's been the best right back in the Premier League this season. I've hardly seen any left winger in the Premier League trouble him at all this season. And I think he's just a fantastic player who definitely deserves to be in there for me. Let's go to left back. Two that stand out to me. One is Cucurella at Chelsea. I think he's had a really good season. And the other one is Kirkes at Bournemouth. I'm going to go for Kirkes. I'm going to go for Kirkes just because young player, really made a name for himself this year. Looks like he's going to get the big money move to Liverpool. And I remember watching him at the game at the Emirates, and I thought he's got one of the best crosses that I've seen in the Prem from a fullback. Certainly on that left-hand side, and I think he's a brilliant player. And I'm not surprised that big clubs are looking at him. Let's go into midfield. This is where it's going to get techie because there's probably 6 or 7 midfielders that you could pick out of these three positions. And it's going to be difficult to narrow it down. So bear with me. This is where we're going to get a little bit controversial, probably. Even now, as I'm picking these, I'm thinking which three I'm actually going to go with. But the first one is going to be Caicedo at Chelsea. Now, I'm picking him ahead of Declan Rice and ahead of Gravenberch, so that will cause some controversy. Declan Rice has finished the season brilliantly for Arsenal, but I remember sitting here around Christmas saying Declan Rice have an average season in this new role. From around Christmas till the end of the season, he's been brilliant, but that's half a season. Gravenberch would have definitely been in this team if we'd have had this conversation at Christmas. He was by far the best player in this sort of role at the start of the season. I think across the course of the season, Caicedo has been immense. No centre midfielder has had more ball recoveries than him this season. 226 times he's won the ball back. I mean, he's moving like N'Golo Kante. A player that I still wish Arsenal would have signed, and I think a big part of the reason Chelsea are in the Conference League final and qualified for the Champions League. So Caicedo makes the squad. I'm sure that will cause a bit of controversy. Next to him, we'll go with his Liverpool, Gravenberch's Liverpool teammate, and we'll go with Alexis McAllister, who, for me, at £35 million, is probably one of the best signings in the Premier League in the last 2 or 3 years. Quality on the ball, can pass. His assists are brilliant. Some of his goals are brilliant. World Cup winner, Premier League winner. £35 million bargain. Alexis McAllister. Now, I could have really put Gravenberch in the team, to be honest, or Declan Rice, but I'm going to go with a more attack-minded player just to balance the squad, and I'm going to go Aston Villa's Morgan Rogers, people, who for me this season has been fantastic. 22 years of age, 8 goals, 10 assists, one of the most exciting attacking midfielders in the league, 4 goals in the Champions League. He made his England debut. I would love to see Arsenal buy him, especially now Aston Villa haven't qualified for the Champions League. He's been linked with Chelsea. I think what he did this season against Partey and Rice, I probably haven't seen another attacking midfielder do that to them this season. He was strong, powerful, can shoot with both feet. Fantastic player. So here's my midfield. I think that will cause a little bit of controversy. I think Gravenberch, Declan Rice, I think Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes at Newcastle would probably have been in with a shout as well. But I'm going with those three. Let me know in the comments what you think. The front three, I think, is reasonably straightforward. On the left, actually, just to shoehorn him in the team, he does play on the right, but I'm going to go with Bryan Mbeumo, who doesn't want to show up for some reason. But yeah, I'm going to go with Bryan Mbeumo. He has played on the right this season, but we're going to put him on the left. If you look at left wingers in the Premier League this year, they haven't been great. You could go Anthony Gordon maybe on the left, but Mbeumo, 20 league goals, playing for Brentford on the wing after Ivan Toney left. He's stepped up. He's being linked with Man United. Has to be in this team. Has to be in this team. No doubt about that. And I know a lot of Arsenal fans would like him at Arsenal. For me, we need the left winger more than the right winger. But listen, he's had a fantastic season. 20 league goals playing on the wing at Brentford. You can't overlook that. On the right, I mean, I said Van Dijk was the easiest pick. I think this is the easiest pick. Mo Salah. He's probably not. He's a Premier League great now. You know, I actually thought, as an Arsenal fan, let me get my logo out of the way there. I thought Salah was fading, and I was quite happy. I thought, as an Arsenal fan, Salah's goals are going to start going lower, and maybe he'll even leave at the end of that contract. And this is the most GA that Salah has had in a Liverpool season. And all of a sudden you're going, he signed a new deal. He's got the most GA in his career at Liverpool. And he's getting better and better. What a player. Premier League player of the season. And obviously has to be in there. We'll finish off with the striker. 2 strikers really for me. One is Chris Wood. 20 league goals at Forest. I think he's outstanding. Shout out to Wissa as well. I think he got 18 league goals for Brentford. Haaland got 21 league goals as well, which we don't even rate that really with Haaland because we expect 30 or 40. But we've got to go with the best striker in the league this year, Alexander Isak. 34 games. He gets this. He's got this reputation of being slightly injury prone, but last year he played 30 league games. This year he's played 34. He's not missing many games. This was his highest goal scoring season. Carabao Cup semi final, ripped up Arsenal. Carabao Cup final, ripped up Liverpool. Scored against a lot of big teams in the Premier League. I think every Premier League club would want to sign him. And yeah, he deserves to be in this team. 9 times out of 10, that would have been Haaland. But this year, it's Isak. So there is my Premier League team of the season, people. Matt Sells in goal. The back four is Jurriën Timber, Kirkes, Van Dijk and Milenkovic. The midfield, Caicedo, McAllister and Rodgers. The front three, Mbeumo, Salah and Isak. One Arsenal player in the squad. 3 Liverpool players who, of course, are the champions. 2 Forest. 1 Bournemouth, 1 Aston Villa, 1 Chelsea, 1 Brentford. No Man United player. And only 1 Newcastle player. And no Manchester City players. But I don't think anyone's really stood out for Man City this year, to be honest. So, guys, let me know what you think. What would your Premier League team of the season be? I'm sure there'll be Newcastle fans saying, you know, where's Tonali? Or maybe some people will be asking for Declan Rice or Gravenberch. I think was very close, but every time I've sort of watched Chelsea, Caicedo's been the standout player, getting them N'Golo Kante vibes from him slightly. So there's the team of the season. I think we can all agree on one thing. I think it's been a disappointing Premier League overall. You get to the end of the season, the title race was wrapped up, the relegation battle was done. The top 4 race was all we had left, and even that on the last day of the season was a little bit flat, really. So I hope we have a more exciting, more entertaining Premier League next season, and let's see if Arsenal can actually do something. Big up to everyone locked in. Get in the comments with your team of the season, and I will see you all next time, people. Bless.